If you've been paying attention to games recently, you may have heard of a little title called Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's been a pretty big hit for Sandfall Interactive, which means they can pretty much do whatever they want to do next. And of course, feel free to sound off in the comments about what you think they should do next. But creative director Guillaume Broche was recently on Mr. Matty Plays, and when asked about what sort of follow-up the team had in mind, Mr. Broche said,
So, Clair Obscur is a franchise name. Expedition 33 is one of the stories that we want to tell in this franchise. Exactly what it will look like and what the concept will be is still too soon to announce.
Sure.
This is not the end of the Clair Obscur franchise.
And speaking of games with great reviews, the scores for Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Starcross World just dropped. And over on OpenCritic, it's already rocking a mighty rating with an 85 top critic average and a 94% critics recommendation. Reviews are saying it's the same game from 3 years ago, except with much better performance and some remixed stages. For some critics, that's more than enough for recommendation, but other critics are less than thrilled by the lack of new meaningful content, such as no new copy powers for the Pink Puff. And by the way, Mr. Matt Piscatella over at Circana just revealed sales data for the overall video game industry in the United States for the month of July, including an impressive 2 million lifetime sales for Nintendo's newest console, the Nintendo Switch 2, in the United States since its launch on June 5th. No doubt a major contributor to hardware sales, seeing a stunning 18% jump from the same time last year, with an equally impressive 21% increase in hardware spending, and the third best-selling game on the charts for the month of July in Donkey Kong Bonanza. Well, kinda. See, unlike other companies, Nintendo doesn't share digital sales info with Circana. The fourth best-selling game of the month was the brand new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, a remaster of the classic skateboarding sequels with new presentational features like the Taco Bell gong sound effect, which is, well, that's really just a choice, isn't it? But of course, there was no slowing down the second and first place winner of July, which was EA Sports College Football 26 and the MVP bundle, which includes College Football 26 Deluxe Edition and Madden 26 Deluxe Edition. Considering last year's College Football 25 was the second best-selling game of 2024, it's really no surprise. What is surprising, what is downright shocking, is that Sony has finally updated their refund system on PlayStation, which, if you've ever been through that process, you know it can be pretty difficult, or at least it was until the latest change, which allows players to request a refund on unplayed games within a 14-day time frame. Everything else, like for instance a game that simply won't open or run on your console, been there. That's still going to send you to customer service, but still a more direct approach than the previous conversation tree chatbot. Umbrella Entertainment has released the first teaser trailer for the latest film adaptation of Silent Hill: Return to Silent Hill. Per the film's description, it looks like audiences will experience a story mostly influenced by Silent Hill 2, with James seeking out his wife Mary while encountering unnatural psychological monstrosities such as Pyramid Head, before ending with the tagline, "You live here now." Okay then. The film is being directed by Christoph Gaines, who is best known for his previous adaptation of Silent Hill from 2006. We'll find out more when Return to Silent Hill returns in 2026. Bad news if you just bought that American Dad cosmetic pack for Call of Duty. The franchise has announced they will no longer support carry forward in Black Ops 7. Or to put it more directly, all those crazy costumes that have previously functioned between multiple games, that's not going to work with this fall's Black Ops 7. But don't worry, the outfits will still function in Warzone. Well, according to the official blog, they want to feel more authentic and felt those over-the-top cosmetics would distract from the core aesthetic, which really begs the question, how will Black Ops 7 approach the lucrative Battle Pass skins, if at all? Can you believe it's been a full 9 years since No Man's Sky launched? Well, today marks the launch of No Man's Sky Voyagers, or Update 6.0, including the long-requested feature to build and operate your very own ship. We're talking piece-by-piece customization, which can then be used to fly your co-op friends around. So we're pretty sure to see some pretty interesting Corvettes on social media in short order. But in case you want to get away from everyone and everything, you can also now free float in space in your very own suit. Atari is now the owner of 5 former Ubisoft games, including Grow Home and its sequel Grow Up, the music rhythm game Child of Eden, and survival games Cold Fear and I Am Alive. While not exactly blockbuster names, these games were cult classics in their own right, with Grow Home seen as an evolution of Nintendo 64 platformer design, while I Am Alive was recognized for its grounded action gameplay, which required players to think about their character's own well-being while engaging in life and death struggles. Meanwhile, Child of Eden is an important game in the career of Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who would go on to produce produce the Tetris Effect. And speaking of music puzzle games, and how often do you get to hear that segue, Luminous Arise, the latest in the now 2-decade-old franchise, will launch this fall on November 11th. And best of all, curious players can check out the game's newly released demo, but only for a limited time. Until September 3rd, PlayStation 5 owners can download a 3-stage demo as well as a multiplayer network test for Burst Battle mode. And finally, Acclaim will be debuting its own presentation on September 10th. The trailer doesn't reveal much beyond a series of audio clips referencing movies from the 1990s and a pile of TVs playing all sorts of Acclaim classics, such as Double Dragon, while promising to, quote, realize our history, release our past, restart our legacy, end quote. For those not old enough to remember, Acclaim was one of the most prominent names during the 8 and 16-bit era in North America, porting popular arcade games to home consoles such as Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam, before ultimately declaring bankruptcy in 2004 prior to this newest revival. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, but why not check out Austin Clark's Gears of War Reloaded review roundup? Yep, the original Gears of War is back again, but this time the critics are telling a different story. Check the link in the description below, keep clicking around here at Game Rant, and we'll see you next time. Thanks everybody!